Sup, nerds? Welcome to episode 4 of the Omni4Game podcast. I am Sean, and as always, we have Chris and Brandon with us.
All right, hey guys. Today on episode 4 of the Omni4Game podcast, we went through our normal locals recap. Sean went through his regional recap, and then we also go through a few extra topics like our favorite level 3s. We go through some ruling discussions and how you should try to use your resources if you're wrong. And a ban list discussion for a very large majority of the end of the video. So if you guys like this content, make sure you stick around, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the episode.
On to our first topic, locals recap. Chris, I guess you'll go first.
I will go first to get it out of the way. You guys really missed it. We had to re-record this part. I was very upset because I went X3 with RB1. Round 1, I lose the security control because my deck requires them to have Digimon on the board. And even when he did have Digimon, and this week he decided to play security Digimon, smart, because he's trying to be more aggressive with his deck, I just couldn't keep up. I ended up losing 0-1 because our game was so long, and I ended up decking out. And then round 2, I end up losing to Gamma because Gamma has a retaliation, and Mel's a smart player and knew what my deck did, so would always grab out that piece specifically if they did any searching or anything of the sort. Always made sure to have the retaliation under their stack. Round 3, I ended up getting the bye. My opponent just didn't show up. It's some guy named Bye. And then round 4, I end up losing to Malomyotismon.
It's a good deck, tier 1, for sure.
Yeah, tier 1. I bricked on level 3s both games. I only saw a total of 2 throughout both games. Round 1 against the Malo player, I literally had lethal on board. Caleb has 30 cards in security. I have a level 6 and a level 3 on board, so I attack with my level 6. Because I've already seen him playing Deathslinger, so I know it doesn't matter if I attack with either one. He has enough cards in trash to kill both, or to kill one. So I attack with my level 6. Deathslinger, of course. Caleb's reaction was iconic. He goes, yes! He knows I've lost at this point. So kills my level 3, and best moment of the night is Sean, because I'm thinking I have game. I don't know what the Malo Tamer does. He tells me to read it, so I read it. And I have Quartzmon, and I'm just thinking, okay, so I can't play Quartzmon. So he looks away, continues his match. I have to Digivolve into a Quartz, because I have Mimi on my board, but no level 3s in hand, and a Tama hat. So I have to dig for this level 3. So I Digivolve into Quartzmon. Don't see it. Sean looks back over and goes, I told you not to Quartzmon him. And it's just this I'm just like, Sean, you missed the whole turn, buddy. Okay, Caleb activated them himself, okay? I didn't pick up the Tamer, read it, and go, you know what? I'm okay with that. So anyways, I end up losing to Malo.
Sounds good.
That sounds good to me.
So week 1 with Rabbits didn't go great. I knew what I was getting into when I wanted to play this deck because I wanted to play green. I don't like how Bloomlord plays, and I hate that it's the only green deck that has been viable 4 months outside of Kabuterimon, but they've already hit the hell out of that. And that deck wasn't fun either. In just my playstyle, it wasn't fun.
I think you mean Kawaga.
Yeah, Kawaga. I'm sorry. Kawaga? Yeah, Kawaga. It just wasn't fun in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
And Bloomlord's not fun for me. It's fun for people who like to touch themselves and just not have any interaction with your opponent.
It is hella combo centric.
Yeah, so I just don't enjoy those. So I wanted to play a green deck. I knew it wasn't going to be like top tier, but I wasn't expecting my only win to be against Bye. So that's it for me, guys. Go ahead with go ahead.
So Chris won 0 actual matches, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Against real opponents.
For mine, this is the first week of having the Garu starter decks. And despite my immense excitement to get these decks in hand, I spent all of 2 minutes throwing the deck together. And
having a whole week to prep.
Yeah, just really put it off. And I made some very, very crucial, just awful deck construction mistakes. So I was playing the purple base, but I was also playing Garu X. So anytime I only saw Garu X, and I didn't see any other regular level 4s, I straight up just couldn't use it. And then likewise, if I ever saw Garu or Garu X, but I didn't have the normal Garu, I couldn't Evo that on top of my level 4s either. So there was a lot of situations throughout the tournament where I just wasn't able to stack. Like I wasn't able to climb into any other competent stack. Which basically meant I was only playing 4 level 5s. And on top of that, I still had Cool Boy in the deck, which hindsight 2020, I would have ripped that out and changed it for an Analog Youth. Yeah, so as far as the rounds themselves go, round 1, I played against Hunters. I got 0-2'd really hard. I absolutely punted really, really hard in game 2. Like, I will fully admit this was the stupidest mistake I think I've made in a card game, period. So I have...
Being a Gabumon fan is probably number one.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there. So he has a blocker level 4 on the board, a level 5 suspended, no security. And I have an Omnimon on the board, Blitz Omni, because I used Blitz Omni to check his last security. And in my sources, I had the new Garu, which if you don't remember what it does, you can discard a card in your hand to pop a level 4.
Or lower.
Or lower. So, me being inexperienced with the deck, wanted to clear the bodies off of his board. So I was like, okay, I'm going to swing at the level 5. So I declare my attack at the level 5. And then I go, okay, let me go through my inheritables real quick. And I stopped at the level 5 and I went, are you serious? Because I had a way to clear both bodies, but I didn't have a way to attack again. So I was trying to just clear both. But then I looked at it and I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh, can I take that play back? Like, I'm just going to live with the misplay. So I took the 0-2. But yeah, he just ended up winning the next turn because...
I do the same thing. Sometimes it's like, I'm not going to learn unless I like...
Yeah.
Because then now I'll remember. If I make a mistake, I remember it and be like, okay, I can't do that again. But if someone lets me take it back, it's like I don't learn from it.
You don't learn, yeah. So then I also had to play against that dastardly buy the next round. Just doesn't show up. Like,
this guy never shows up.
So then round 3, I got 0-2'd by Beelzemon. I never saw a level 5 during either game, which makes a lot of sense, because guess what? I only have 4 in the deck that are realistically usable, because I have to go into the purple one in order to use the X. So again, just my stupid mistake building this deck. Especially since turn 1, I was like, alright, well, I'm just going to activate Cool Boy in hopes to see Garu X, and I bought deck 2 of my level 5s. I should have just scooped right there.
Funny story, I'm sitting next to Brandon. In game 1, he does that, bottom decks 2, right? And game 2, he ends up having Cool Boy again in his hand, and he's sitting there and he's mulling it over. But all he can think of is, if I activate this, I'm never seeing those level 5s. Correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, but did he not check your security and hit one out of it, forcing you to activate it?
Level 5. Yeah.
It bought deck door. I was dying on the inside watching it happen. I'm sitting right next to him.
If it's an analog youth, I don't get punished for that.
You get to add it.
Good, and I get the card I needed.
Yep.
So again, just analog youth would have been insanely better. So I'm probably going to be testing a blue bottom versus a pure purple. Which the pure purple, I'm actually throwing in some spice, which is going to be pretty fun. But anyway, last round 4. I played against Alliance. It wasn't Ben's good Alliance. This was Alliance without Quartzmon.
Wait, Alliance is good.
Oh, well, Ben is such a good player that he makes Alliance look good. We'll say that.
I think Alliance is underrated. I don't think it's tier 1, but it can definitely sneak some wins on you.
He was playing the Mother D Reaper combo, and that really put put Sean and Ben in a tizzy. They were like looking up rulings, making sure they could do that.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, that terrier.
No. We weren't looking that up because we assumed that was a thing. But we were looking up Heaven's Judgment ruling because it says for every Digimon you have in play, like every Digimon color. That's what made us look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we just read Mother, and Mother refers to itself as a Digimon, so we're like, oh, okay.
I mean, just imagine you're just swinging with a 20k or a 18k Terriermon for 2 checks. You know, little bunny putting in 2 checks for 1,000,000 damage
on turn 2.
Yeah. Turn 2. Just got lucky and happened to hatch the Mother D.
I mean, I feel like I would just play 4 Mothers in that deck.
Hold on, he wasn't playing 4 Mothers? You just randomly plays what?
He's playing
the Alliance Baby.
Yeah, 5 Tamas, 4 Cocos, 1 Mother.
Yeah. Anyway.
That seems very weird.
That's like
so Alliance.
Some people that run Alliance play that.
Yeah, so Alliance without Quartz, even my really poorly built deck was able to beat it. We only played, full disclosure, we played 1 game. I got it, and then he went, "All right, you can just have the match." And then we just sat there and did some like play testing because he didn't want to keep playing that deck.
Will.
So wait,
yeah,
you won game 1, and he said, "Okay, you can have this match." And then you continued to play the game of Digimon with each other?
No, but we swapped decks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, but why?
I was done with my deck. He was done with his deck. So
okay. That's
Will's. I hope Will hears this. His brain was melting trying to play Alliance. Absolutely melting.
It is something you have to get used to because it's pretty simple once you get it down, but there are some moving parts to it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my lesson was learned. My deck has been adjusted accordingly. All right, Sean, how did yours go?
Pretty well. I think Chris has his rounds mixed up because I played against Security Control round 1.
No, I played against Mario round 1.
I have video evidence.
You're right. I'm sorry, you're right. I played against yeah. Oh, okay. He let me talk my whole time and then waited till it was his turn to talk.
I don't want to cut you off.
You're right. I played against Gamamon round 1, Security Control round 2. That's right, because we were both 0-1 going into that.
Hold the phone. How are you going to say you don't want to cut people off? But every time I say something slightly wrong, slightly mispronunciated, you're like, actually, it's this.
So if you give me a moment, like a pause moment, I'll jump in. But Chris was just continuously talking.
Yeah.
And like by the time he paused, it was like way past it to me and be like, by the way, you didn't play that game round 1.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I wrote it down wrong in my little notes section. My bad.
Because I went to look at my video recordings of my matchups, and I was like, I was pretty sure I played Mario round 1, and I in fact did. So I played against Security Control round 1. Mario added Security Digimon to his list this week, which I think was a very good inclusion. I told him that whenever he mentioned it last week, that I thought it was a good idea. When he said he's just going to throw a bunch in, I was like, that's actually a good idea because it gives you a lot more aggression.
Yeah, Cordramon is also just a really good card.
Yeah, Cordramon. He was playing Cordramon, Geo Gray. He was also playing Harrismon, the yellow security Digimon that goes to your hand and minuses a security attack on something. I can't remember if he was playing more than that, but I mean, those are...
I only ever saw those 3.
Yeah, those are the ones I saw, but I mean, it's hard to fit a bunch of them in, but I mean, I think those are really good ones to throw in.
Yeah, very solid inclusions.
Yeah, the Geo just spot remove, and then the Cordramon, you don't draw a whole lot of security control, so it's just nice to have some draw.
Yeah, draw and 2 and a body on the board.
Yeah,
there are games where you're not going to see your Salamon, so having a Harrismon in hand, got checked out. Security is just nice,
and being able to tactical retreat them back is really strong.
Yeah.
So that's actually I lost game 1 to him because I got a little impatient and also didn't know for sure that he actually added the security Digimon in because he just said it last week, and I swung at his security early and checked like 2 or 3 of them. And ended up losing because of it, because the deck I was playing was all gas, no brakes. I had no defense. So like once I put lethal damage out there, I just lost. So game 2, I was more patient, and I also am playing BT1 War Greymon, or I was playing BT1 War Greymon this week, in my War Greymon OTK deck. So the only thing I had to worry about was just making sure I didn't reversal myself by giving him a bunch of free Digimon in play. So I just timed it to where I could kill him whenever I promoted and swung for big damage. So I won games 2 and 3 because I was a little more patient. Round 2, I played against Alliance. I lost game 1 again because his first hatch was Mother D Reaper, and he was swinging at my security for over 20,000 DP for 2 checks on turn 2. And I just couldn't answer it quick enough.
Yeah, seems good.
Yeah, seems really good. And then games...
Especially since that 15k body is uninteractable.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not even a big deal because I can get big enough to swing over it. But by the time I was able to answer it, it was too late. Like, I was down to like 1 security. Also, Heaven's Judgment's a really good card. If he didn't Heaven's Judgment my field game 1, I actually probably still would have won that game because I would have been able to clear his board. But he answered my level 5 and my Ricky on the field. Or I think it was a level 5 and a level 4 actually. But either way, he cleared my board and I was up. I had to reset and I had like 1 security left and I was like, this game's over. But I won games 2 and 3. I think I OTK'd both games, but I'll have to double check the footage. Round 3, I played against Hunters, which I'm not playing any Hades Force or anything like that. Like, there's literally no defense in this deck. Lost game 1. He just outpaced me. Had a good, strong opening with, like, Shoutmon King version and stuff, and just outpaced me, and I opened kind of slow. And then games 2 and 3, I believe I OTK'd. So I ended up winning that one as well. And then round 4... which if we were playing true undefeated, I would have won the tournament after round 3 because there was a draw at the other undefeated table during round 3. I had to play against Yellow Hybrid again, and Venusmon's really good when your whole deck's about getting a bunch of checks and swinging at all of your opponent's security, and when you're not playing any defense and no Black Wars or anything like that. Like, there's no way to interact with Tamers in my deck. I literally just have to kill you before you kill me. My mistake was winning game 1. So that was the first match all night I'd won game 1, and I proceeded to lose games 2 and 3.
Yeah, that was your mistake. How dare you win the first game?
Yep. When I won game 1, I was like, this feels bittersweet because I feel like this is going to come back to haunt me. I still came in second. There was no way for me to bypass Ben, who was playing Yellow Hybrid, because he had a draw. So I knew for a fact I couldn't get first even if he won, because he didn't have any losses. He just had a draw. And I was pretty sure I probably wasn't even going to get second, but somehow I did.
I think it's because your tiebreakers were slightly better.
Well, clearly, but I don't know that. Like, I have no way.
Well, yeah, because I went in there and I did the little data. I think your win percentage was like 3 or 4 points higher than both of the 2 that were below you. Good,
as it should be. So yeah, ended up coming in second. Brandon and Chris didn't win.
Oh, we got washed.
Which is what happened to me last week. So it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. You want to start talking about your topic of the day?
So I did not get washed. So I played in the regionals yesterday. With the same deck I took the locals Friday night. Card for card. War Greymon OTK playing BT12 Raid War Grey and BT1 War Grey, and then a few Blitz Omnis. The whole point of the deck is to promote and swing for 5 security, and then Blitz Omni for game. And let me go through my matchups real quick. Let me just pull it up.
All possible because of our Lord and Savior Gaiomon.
I was not playing Gaiomon. I don't know what
I was going to say, he's not even playing Gaiomon.
Oh, what were you playing?
It just
someone is checked out. BT12.
No,
BT12 Raid War Grey and BT1 War Grey.
Okay, all right.
And then Blitz Omnis.
Okay. That's right.
Yes.
I forgot you were playing your second level 6 was
BT1
War Grey. Yeah. I just usually just think it's Gaiomon. I just assume.
Yeah.
If it would have been, you probably would have won the whole tournament, let's just say.
Actually,
our Lord and Savior Gaiomon can do all and nothing wrong.
So he costs 5 to Evo into, so I can't Evo into him, swing for game,
fine.
and then Blitz Omni.
Yeah, you can. You just gotta have 5 memory.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
Memory setter plus mem boost. Boom.
Yeah,
Mem boost. Yeah, boom. There you go.
Well, I'm so dumb. Yeah, and then the fact that options go off. Yeah, of course.
You got protection. It's fine.
Are you playing Greymon?
You're also digivolving something.
Anyway, round 1 I played against Greymon Toolbox. We both hatched Koromon turn 1, and I was like, cool, because I did not want to play any mirrors.
All over again.
Yeah, the mirrors are not fun, especially if they're playing Black War, because they pop my Tamer, and if I don't have a Mem Boost, like I can't answer their board because they'll choke me, and I can't promote and get Evo into a level 6 without passing turn. Thankfully, I took that game 2-1. I raid OTK'd game 1, and then BT1 OTK'd game 3. And then...
How surprising was the BT1 Wargrey at that point? Had he already seen it, or...?
I can't remember. Because this was a 9-round tournament, and I did not make a note of like if I revealed any of those off searches. I will say
I was thinking, like, how many of your opponents do you think expected a BT1 War Greymon? Like, it had to have been pretty.
I don't think any of them expected it until it either got revealed off a search or I evoed into it and killed them with it.
Yeah.
Because I remember specifically at least one person was like, I didn't expect that after I killed them with BT1 War Grey. Round 2, I played against Shine Greymon. Thankfully, that guy was playing the deck for the literal first time that day. So, like, I was his round 2 opponent. He missed lethal game 1. He had game in his hand and was too worried about the fact that he had 0 security and I had a giant Raid War Grey sitting on the field. And he was focused on trying to clear it instead of just realizing that he could kill me through 4 security with what he had set up and what was in his hand. I know for a fact he had lethal because he played the cards that would have killed me. He just did it wrong to where it did not kill me. He just like tried to clear my board and it didn't work out for him because he couldn't even do that and he was just scooped.
Wow, feels bad.
Yeah. And then he bricked on 5s game 2. Like he just never saw level 5 and I just killed him. He never procced his BT13 Marcus on play over the course of 2 games. So I made sure to tell him, hey, you can do that after the match was over. And then round 3, I played against Greymon Toolbox again. I lost that round, unfortunately. So games 1 and 2 were like actually back and forth by just, one of us killed the other first. Game 3, I bricked on rookies and just watched him kill me over the course of 5 turns while I just didn't see a rookie. And I saw like the top like 10 cards in my deck, I think, because one card in my opening hand was a memory boost after I mulliganed.
Oh, still no rookies. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. But yeah, I literally just didn't get to play game 3.
Yeah, that's the worst way. I hate lose because of my own mistake. It's like, okay, I can blame me, but breaking on like a level, like a certain card, like a 4, 5, 6, or 3, and it's just like,
and you're trying your hardest to see those pieces, playing searchers, playing like anything to get you more pieces, and it still isn't coming up.
Knowing Sean, he's just like 4 mem boost, all the Augu searchers, like, and you're still not seeing anything, and it's just like,
well, it sucks.
What can you do?
Piece you're missing
it's just not for you.
Piece that searches.
Yeah, I actually am less frustrated with brick losses. I'm more frustrated when I know it's my own fault, and it's something that I should have known, like I should have realized in the moment, but I just didn't and lost because of it. Round 4, I played against Belphimon, which I'm playing Raid War Grey, so that's
easy.
That's an amazing matchup for me.
Easy collapse.
Yeah. Game 1, I OTK'd him through a sleep mode. Like I cleared his sleep mode while OTKing him, which is pretty nice.
Did he not just stop the Raid War attack?
One time, but
yeah, you can only stop it once.
Yeah, fair.
I had like I think I had poked him at one point, and I had like 4 checks on my Raid War Grey. So he stopped one swing, and I was like, okay, attack through him
so
again.
You still just had enough to kill it. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Do y'all remember for those like 2 or 3 weeks where Belphi was just everywhere and it was the best deck ever, and now it's nowhere because it's dead?
Yeah, Raid War Grey is a good card. Like, as soon as he hatched and evoed into, like, the Porkamon or whatever, game 1, I was like, dude, yes. As long as he doesn't see his combo, like, super quick, this should be, like, basically a free win. And then game 2, I BT1 War Grade OTK'd for 5 checks. And I had Blitz Omni in my hand, I think, but I also had a rookie on the field, and I checked the, what's that level, the 6 cost option in security?
Crimson?
No, Belfi's option.
Oh, I know what you're talking
it's
about.
Like darkness or something?
Yeah. Darkness, no, not Claw.
Gift of Darkness or something?
Gift of Darkness, yeah. I checked a Calling from the Darkness and a Gift of Darkness in security, but neither one of those procced, obviously, and I just killed him. I swung with my rookie, but I had a Blitz Omni in my hand, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, having built-in Delicate Plan is so good.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't have anything on the field, so he was like, he didn't think I could just kill him. And I just promoted and evoed into BT1 War Grade, and I was like, you dead.
I was so tempted to play a variant of Red Hybrid that had the ancient Greymon engine, just so I could do like one big OTK, but I just didn't feel like putting it together.
Round 5, I played against Blue Flare, which I do not like that matchup at all, because if they open quick, they can kill me before I see my pieces.
Oh, you mean if they open up with their Mem Boost card that is broken?
That, and if they open with Starter Deck 1 Greymon and the good BT10 Metal Greymon. Like, if they open with those 2 cards, I'm put on a clock immediately, and because I don't have any defense, like, I have to OTK them.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that they can just material save all their stuff and then just keep doing it back-to-back turns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
I BT1 OTK'd game 1 and BT12 OTK'd game 3. So I took that, thankfully. Round 6, I played against Bloom, and I was like...
So are you X1 going into this, right?
Yeah, I'm X1 going into round 6.
Okay.
So my hopes of getting a 2-round bye are still alive. I played against Bloom, which I was like, this shouldn't be a bad matchup for me. Like, as long as I see my OTK before they, like, pop off, like, I should be good. Sadly, I opened very slowly, 2 games in a row, and Pseudo got to play the game, but not really. Like, he had his Bloom, like, set up swinging for big checks, like a turn or two too quick for me both games, and I just got 2-0'd pretty fast. So I lost that. Round 7, I played against another Blue Flare, which still I would rather play against Bloom than Blue Flare, just because of what I said. But I just 2-0'd him very quickly. BT1 War Grey is a good card. Round 8, I played against... It was another Greymon Toolbox, but he was playing Raid War Grey and Ace War Grey.
So the bad card.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I 2-0'd him. I OTK'd him with BT1 game 1 and BT12 game 2. He got impatient. Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He got impatient game 2 and promoted first. Like, I straight up... we both had a level 5 in Raising. And he just hard passed one time. And I had a level 5 with a tie on the field. And I played a red memory boost to go to 0. I added an Agu X to my hand and then just hard passed. to leave nothing on the field. And he promoted, went into his Raid War Grey.
Wait, you're telling me you didn't just play the Agu X to give him something to raid into?
That's right. I did not. I just said, hey, it's your turn now. And he promoted, and I was like, I think I win now, because I have, like, Omega Game. If he promotes and leaves something...
Winner player's going to realize if you're in a Raid War Greymon mirror match, if you can't kill them, if you can't hard confirm kill them, whoever promotes first just loses.
If it's unsuspended, yes.
You leave something unsuspended, yeah.
Yeah, if he had been able to swing at my security and stay suspended, he probably would have been fine. But
you're telling me Raid War Greymon, what does it have?
Raid?
Reboot. A reboot,
yes,
right?
Yes, it has reboot.
So, I mean, you can't keep it suspended.
So he swung at my security for like 3 checks. Who cares? And then
oh no, that wasn't 5.
And then rebooted, and I was like, I have all of the gas mask. Like, I have Metal X, I have Raid War Grey, I have Blitz Omni. Like, this is GG's. I promote.
Let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Does Ace War Greymon mandatorily unsuspend if a security is removed?
I think he does, but what he could have done, because he had the ace in his hand, he could have just swung twice with the Ace War Grey.
Yeah. So I was thinking, if it's mandatory, he would have been screwed in that situation too, because the first time you would have swung, it would have unsuspended it.
Yeah,
but I guess no, because then yours wouldn't have unsuspended because you didn't raid.
Because he only unsuspends. A Raid War Grey unsuspends when an attack target is switched.
You redirect, yeah.
Ace War Grey unsuspends when a security is removed from either player's stack. So like he would have been unsuspended after my attack went through.
Okay.
But I just could have just swung over his guy and gained 4 memory.
Yeah, you just swung over it.
And he just would have lost like a turn later instead of on the spot that turn. So like we talked about it after the game, and like it didn't really, besides him hard passing, if he promoted and did anything, he basically just lost.
See, I know myself well enough as a player to realize that's me you're playing against, because I also get very impatient. Like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm like, for some reason inside my head I tell myself, you're losing from here. You're losing. You have to do something. I know not to, but I get impatient.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I'm a very impatient player.
I think at that point he had seen BT1 because I OTK'd him game 1 with BT1. So like he knew that I could potentially just kill him regardless of what he did. So I think that's why he got a little impatient.
Right.
But if I have it, I have it. Like, you make it that much easier for me to kill you when you do that.
Right. It was one of those things where he's just like, he's got it or he doesn't have it. Like.
Yeah. And I hadn't revealed either War Greymon off the search. Like, for all he knew, I could have just been missing level 6 at that point. Right. But no, I had all the gas in my hand. I literally just mem boosted just to do something with my turn, and then I just passed. So I couldn't do anything else.
I think that was like
it's 2 free memory the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's something that makes me a little jealous about War Greymon decks, is their options for their level 6s. They have so many that it's just like, me as a Garu player, it's like, I have my Garu X. I guess I'll play the EX1 Metal Garu for 4 months.
You don't love starter deck Metal Garurumon, Brandon? The OG
I love that game. I love that.
The 4 cost?
You love that because you have no better options.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why when they revealed the BT15 secret rare one, he's literally a better version of that starter deck Metal Garu, because he has evade, he has a warp evo effect, he can unsuspend himself. That is only the second Metal Garu that has been given the ability to unsuspend himself. Which, like, come on, that was like
War Greymon, so he's not that good.
Yeah, it's good enough to where one of my cards might get banned here in a second.
So, anyways,
round 9, because this was a full 9-round regional. Sadly, round 9, I played against Blue Fair for a 3rd time.
Oh my god!
And he just opened, like, I wouldn't say the nuts both games, but he opened very well both games and just killed me before I had a chance to set up. And like,
it's not hard with that deck.
Yeah, and I think he was smarter about it than the other ones. Like, he was not being patient at all, which there's no reason to be patient versus my deck anyway with metal, because you're never going to leave anything unsuspended because you just swing everything.
Yeah. And
like, when your stuff gets played for free, it plays suspended. So like, there's nothing really to be concerned about as long as you don't hard play something. So yeah, he just killed me like a turn or two before I had a chance to kill him both games and just 2-0'd me. It was the fastest match of the day. Like, we got done in like less than like 20 minutes. It was like 17-minute match, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So I finished 6-3 through 9 rounds. I came in 48th. Which is good enough to get 2 additional event pack 5, so I'm not super complaining about that, but obviously would have wanted to get my 2-round bye.
God, I need to go check the prices on some of these event pack 5 cards too.
And All Force ended up winning the entire regional, which is wild. And
it's literally it's an RNG deck.
Yeah, if you see your pieces, it's almost unbeatable.
You're going in.
Having said that, though, I was watching the Eggman stream with him and Digipanda, like, because my rounds are all done like super quick. Like, I either win fast or lose fast. So I was watching the last like half hour of each round on the stream, and he was featured think it was featured a couple of times, but I watched the finals, him versus Hunters, and he actually played very, very well. His setup was wild AF, but his play was very good. But my deck profile for the War Gray OTK deck will go up either later today or tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that.
So for my topic this week, guys, is I asked these guys, we're gonna do another list. Next week's probably gonna be level 4s, but this week we did level 3s. I asked these guys to pick out their 3 favorite level 3s and told them one condition: they can't all be Agumons and Gabumons because we could just do that. Yeah, where's the fun in that? So, for mine, I went with no surprise here. My one Agumon choice, I picked Agumon X Antibody.
Which one?
It's just everything you. Oh, the OG one, Agumon X Antibody, OG
ET9.
one. Yes.
ET9, yeah.
It's just everything you want in a card. It's a good searcher. You can Digivolve on top of Agumon, draw a card. It just does everything you want. For my next level 3, I went with a little bit of a surprise here, but this card kind of works in 2 facets in 2 different decks. And when I was sitting and thinking about it, I was like, it kind of rejuvenated this deck. Not by itself, but it kind of created a new way to play with it. I went with Doraemon, the level 3 X Antibody card from Alphamon. Not only is it a
9 card.
Yes, it's a very good card in the fact that it's a searcher, adds an X Antibody card, and it's Tamer. But sets later, players started using it in Machine Dramon. And at the time, Machine Dramon was only like an on-play card, and I don't know who to give credit to, but someone eventually just said, hey, throw that in Machine Dramon, because all the new cards start tucking stuff under it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, then it became an on-play deck, a stack deck. You could build in your raising area. And I'm just thinking about that, and I was like, that's so creative, that's so inventive. Like, it was just a cool idea, and I love that. It just showed the utility of that card, and, I liked the idea, and I liked playing the card when I played Alphamon, and now when I play Machine Dramon. And for my third card, an oldie that has been power crept to hell, but in my opinion, at the time, if you had the card, I think you genuinely had an advantage over your opponents if you had the card. Because at the time, it was hard to get and was so overpriced because of its availability. And we were lucky at our locals, and the group that we played with, we had 4 people in our group, me, Brandon, Josh, Emma, so we were always getting them, was Pulsemon.
OG
Promo Pulsemon. At the time, was like a $30 to $40 card, and if you were playing Lord Nightmon, and you did not have that card, I genuinely think you were at a humongous disadvantage. Once you got to 3 security, right?
Breaks.
On played, you gained a memory and you're drawing a card. The advantage that started just piling up with this card was crazy. And I was thinking about this. I was like, this card's been power crept. Like, it's just no good anymore. I mean, it could probably still get played now if Lord Nightmon got some support and you were still playing that same kind of core. But at the time, Pulsemon was just so good. And for some reason, Bandai said, just make it a promo card that's impossible to get. So it was just like one of my favorite cards to play at the time. It was just so good. It was just a dumb card. And my honorable mentions, of course, are like Solarmon. It's just a good tech card. It's going to be one of those cards where it never makes anyone's top 3 list, but it'll always be right there, especially as like a red player. It's just a good tech card. And then a Bokomon as well. I remember back during that format when hybrids first came out with Boko, whoever saw their Bokomon first just kind of won. Like, how many Bokomon did you open up with? How many Bokomon did I open up with? Like, who's winning here? Am I going to be able to not only gain the 2 memory back, but am I going to gain 4 memory if I have multiple Bokomons? So that was always just a dumb interaction. So that was my top 3 level 3s that aren't just all Agumons, because to be honest, mine would just be Agumon Searcher, and Agumon X Antibody. But we get a little bit more interesting here. So let's go with Brandon's, because I know all of his, so his won't be a surprise to me.
Yeah. So for the first one, we're going to stick with Floodgates. I wanted to pick a Floodgate because I really love how Digimon did their Floodgates. So I just grabbed a copy of Madoki Betamon. It's the blue level 3 that stops you from being able to gain memory except through a tamer effect. It's not particularly Madoki Betamon. I just really love the floodgates in this game, period. So, like, Solarmon can be under this category as well. Psychmon, Cutemon, Pillowmon, all of them. So, but I picked this one because he's blue. And I'm mainly a blue player. So this is why I picked him. He's a floodgate. I love the floodgates in this game. I love how they're integrated into this. Next, I went with the T4 Flamemon. I think this is the first, along with Starabimon, the first level 3s that are actually good searchers. Because before BT4, the best searcher was like Agumon on play, revealed top 5 for a tamer. Ooh. Like, or Palmon. Like, are we gonna... No, they're bad.
Well, don't bring that card up.
This is the first one where you get to grab a Digimon and a tamer. Very good. It gets you 2 cards. Because I actually looked through all the level 3s before this. These are the first ones that are actually good searchers. So that's why I picked this one. It was the first good searcher this game actually got. And of course, my Gabumon. I had to go with the, of course, event pack BT5 Gabu. On play, reveal top 3, grab a Garu, grab an Omni. You get both. It's great. And then
Show
of course,
the better art.
grab the Cyber Sleuth art.
Yeah, there it is.
Love this card. I love the art. I love it. Like, it's great. I still need to get my hands on the Royal Knight binder alt art for this. He's sitting at like $15 right now. I didn't feel like.
Sean, stop shaking your head. If you played Cyber Sleuth, you'd understand.
I guess I would.
Agumon also has one.
It is not hollow, therefore bad.
Yeah, but look, there's a little Agumon right in the background.
I don't care. That card's not shiny.
You got any honorable mentions, Brandon?
Yeah, I wanted to honorably mention Lucemon. I think a lot of people just kind of forget that thing's a level 3. But Lucemon was like the first level 3 that was actually like special in the fact that like it can't digivolve or anything like that. You just have to hard drop it. Yeah, I thought Lucemon was really cool as far as like a card design goes. Yeah, so that's my other honorable mention.
Yeah, hard brick.
John is. Yeah.
As someone who played that card in BT4 and BT5, I stopped playing it in BT5.
Yeah.
So,
I just like what it did for the game.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool card. I've tried to build decks around it evoing into chaos mode, and it just like we don't have the right support for it yet.
Yeah. Chaos mode's better, 100%.
Obviously, but you can evo him on top of regular Lucemon for 7.
Yeah.
So mine, we're gonna start off with. I also have Agu X in my lineup. He's always going to be good as long as Agumon and Greymon get support, which, let's be real, it's like the Charizard of this card games. Like, it's never going to not see support.
It's almost Tyrannomon. Almost.
No, it's not. So here's the deal.
No, Tyrannomon almost was the mascot for Digimon.
Yeah.
Almost. Why do you think on the 20th anniversary, isn't it a Tyrannomon next to it?
I don't care.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
Who is Ty's...
The hate for Tyrannomon.
Who is Ty's Digimon?
Ty's not the original tamer. Ty's not the original Digimon tamer.
He is in the first season of the show.
Yeah, but the first season of the show isn't the first Digimon product.
Guess what America first saw?
Brandon, you forget. Sean's not a real fan.
Okay.
I'm not a weeb, is what you mean. I'm not a weeb. I don't know. I don't read the manga.
Okay, all right.
I was like 10 years old when we first got Digimon. I was not reading manga.
It's not even in the manga.
Anyways,
continue your crappy list.
And this does not count as an Agumon. This is a different Bushi Agumon from BT4.
Agumon enclosed with a top knot.
Yeah, this card and a sword. Don't forget he has a sword.
And a sword.
This is the first card we got, I believe, that had Rush on it. And I have won many games with this card. Bushi
plus
for
Blinding
game.
Ray.
Yeah, Blinding Ray Bushi for game. Is one of my favorite combos from BT4 and BT5. So that card will always have a special place in my heart because that card's broken. We've since gotten other cards with Rush, but that's still one of the best ones.
You know what stops a Bushi Agumon? Hexplow.
You know what card is actual dog water. Hexablow. Anyways, and then my third is actually Vmon from BT3. Jamming on a rookie is still really, really broken. I don't know what they were thinking when they first printed this card, but this was one of the most annoying cards to play against back then.
You have to out it.
Yeah, like if you don't out it, he's gonna kill you.
You're getting multiple checks. He's getting multiple.
Yes, like you have to swing over him just to get him off the board. Yeah, he's still really good. He's just like has since been power creeped, but you could still build a deck around doing something stupid like that and probably do like okay at a locals.
I was actually like this close to putting starter deck Vmon in my list, the Warp Evoing one.
Warp Evo?
Yeah, the Vmon that has, if your opponent has level 6, you can Warp Evo into All Force.
Oh, okay.
I was like that close to putting him on my list, but I went with Madoki Beta instead.
Those ones are also really nice because they have that real nice texture.
Oof.
That and the Guillemon.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when I built All Force for the first time in 1.5 format. The card I abused the most, and the reason why the deck was so good, was this guy. It wasn't even All Force. Because you could unsuspend him like 2 or 3 times a turn and just get just swing with him and never even go into All Force. Like it was stupid.
Yep. Because X Vmon unsuspended it, Arrow Vidramon unsuspended it.
Yeah, that's what I was unsuspending with those 2 cards. It wasn't All Force.
Yeah.
And I have no honorable mentions, so we can move on to our next topic.
They're all Agumons.
Yeah, the rest of my honorable mentions rhyme with Agumon.
Yeah, just cards that have Agumon in the name.
Yeah, Agumon in their text.
Unless you're Bond. In that case, just get out.
So,
all right, Sean, you have a bit of a story time for us with this this comment.
Okay, so moving on to our next topic, wrong guy. So
he gets a whole topic.
It's not really about him. It's more about like rulings and stuff. But this just
admit when you're wrong, kids.
Yeah. So if I ever feel the need, like if I ever see something in a video and I like want to point it out to those people, like, hey, you may be like, I think you may be doing this wrong. And comment on it. Even if I'm already like basically sure I'm right, I still go and double check because I don't want to comment and then be like, actually, you're wrong.
Reverse Uno.
Yeah. But I would also be like polite about it. I wouldn't just be like, hey, you're wrong because of this. Yeah. I'd be like, hey, I think, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I usually frame it as like a question like, hey, I thought that this is how this works. You know, not like, hey, this is how it works.
Yeah. Hey, you're stupid. So I had a guy comment on one of my videos thinking that he knew how end of turn procedures worked. He was so close to being right, but he was dead wrong, and he was dead wrong for a couple of reasons. His comment was about DeathX versus Gaio blitzing at DeathX. He was wrong because he was saying that DeathX procced before the attack went through, which is incorrect. Because the attack is going through from the Evo effect, so that attack would go through before end of turn procedures kicked in. So the DeathX is dead before that ever happens. Had it been a DNA Digivolve or an EX4 Gaio into
like a Dobrik play,
a BT9 Gaio, that would have procced end of turn procedures. So like, both of our end of turn effects would proc. My attack would attempt to go through because I'm turn player, and then his DeathX effect would proc before my attack went all the way through, so it actually would blow it up. But that's not what a point that we were at in the game. So he was wrong, and he presented it in a way like, you're wrong because of this, and you're also wrong because of this. Because he also didn't like double check what was on the field and what my stack looked like, because he was like, you can't kill him because you would have lost too many checks from the DeathX attempting to pop your guy. And I was like, my Gaiomon has 4 checks. Like he still would have killed him even if you were right about the first thing. So I responded to him the same way he came at me, which was, hey, you're wrong because of this. I was like, oh, actually, you're wrong because of these reasons. And then I quoted Billy Madison, one of my favorite scenes from that movie, I award you 0 points, and may God have mercy on your soul. I probably should have put it in quotes so it was more obvious I was quoting the movie, because that movie is like 25 years old at this point or something like that. Maybe I think even older than that. So not everybody has seen that movie. So he thought I was more being like playfully an a-hole. I wasn't.
Yeah, it's
like,
hard to tell that kind of stuff through comment.
So he thought I was being a little more aggressive than I actually was, because I just thought it was funny to be able to say that to somebody. We went back and
insult for the proper day.
We went back and forth a couple of times, because he came back and was like, actually, you're wrong. This is how it works. And I was like, it's not though. You're wrong. And then he called me a Karen, and so I went digging for something to link him to educate him, because I think it's really bad for people to spread misinformation like that, because it confuses players. Like, it confuses veteran players at that point when you're like, no, you're wrong because like this. So I went and tried to find something to link him. It took me like 15-ish minutes, because it was a hard thing to find hard evidence to be like, hey, this is how it works, because it's such a niche interaction. And I went back to post a link, and lo and behold, he had deleted his comment. Therefore, the thread went away. So I think he probably found the information before I did, because he was double checking it and realized he was wrong and just deleted his comment.
He ran away.
Yeah.
Ran.
If I had found out that he was right, I would have apologized and been like, hey, you were right. My bad. Also, I was quoting a movie. I wasn't actually being a giant a-hole to you. But
that was accidental.
Yeah. I should have put it in quotes. Next time.
I'm telling you guys, this is like... So Sean had messaged us, showing us this, and I replied with, imagine him and their player base at his locals. And this is how they're playing every single week. Like, it's stuff like that where it's like, guys, we gotta... Like, now, if I don't know a certain ruling or how a card works or want to know something... I don't go, okay, that's how it works. No, I ask. I ask questions. Even if I'm gonna look dumb. Like, I'd rather look dumb and learn and be like, okay, now I know, than not know and just not do anything about it, or just, like I said, or like you said, comment on a video and say, I'm right, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I'd rather ask questions. Even if that means I'm looking dumb. Because I don't think it's being dumb. It's just like, hey, I'm not entirely sure how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think people are too afraid to ask, like, hey, does this work this way? Because they're afraid of looking dumb.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'd rather know and be sure and look dumb than not be sure and not ask.
Yeah, there's like a...
I mean...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, it's like, even at the very beginning of the game, like me and Chris, when we'd be play testing with like the original Japanese starter decks, we misplayed so bad. Everything was so bad. Like, we thought Hammer Spark interrupted security checks.
Oh, just like past turn.
Yeah, like,
it's my turn now. Bad. Quit it.
But like we
Hammer Spark, put it in everything.
Yeah, tier 0.
Yeah, but we learned. We got the proper information.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at our resources.
Yeah, you're never gonna learn if you don't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was at the infancy of the game.
That is very true. And I get comments where people are like, hey, I don't think that works that way. And 99% of my comments where they're like trying to point out something or ask about something, they're asking or like, presenting
hey, Chris cheated.
Yeah. They're presenting it in a way where they don't come off like an a-hole. And if they're right, I tell them I appreciate them pointing it out. And if they're wrong, I just politely point out, or I just answer their question if they asked a question. But this guy came at me a little sideways, so I just went back in a little sideways.
It's like that one thread from the Royal Knight Red Hybrid gameplay where
so much back and forth. There's still
the guy comes in
to this day. There's still comments on that video every once in a while.
He comes in pretty even. He's like, "Hey, is that how that Takuya works?" And it's like, "Yes, that is how that Takuya works." Okay, how does that Takuya work? Okay, here's the explanation. I don't think it works that way.
No, listen. It's
Brandon was in a fist fight in my comments with some dude who was like saying that Takuya does not work that way.
At this point, it needs one of the best interactions I've ever seen at our locals was between Mel and Mario. Okay, and Mario's a very inquisitive person. He likes to ask a lot of questions. Okay, and that's again not a problem. Okay.
You need to know what things do.
Yeah.
One of the best things I heard. Me and Sean are playing each other, and they're playing right behind them. And all I hear is Mario ask a question, and Mel must have been done at this point because there's sometimes
like really late in the night too.
Mario was like, "How does it do that?"
I love Mario, but like you could explain a card to him like 4 times, and he's still gonna ask you over and over again. So Mel must have been done at this point because all I hear is Mario ask, "Wait, how does that work?" And Mel just responded with, "It just does." Like it just does. Okay, like that's what needs to happen at this point. Like Brandon, if people are still commenting on this video asking how it just replying with "it just does." That's what it does.
It just does.
It was I was dying because I know Mel's just done at this point. Mel's just like it just does. That's just what it does.
Yeah, that was like a month or so ago. That was very funny.
Yes. It was
like completely out of like we didn't hear any of the other part of the conversation. That's just all we happened to overhear was Mario say that, and then Mel respond with "it just does."
It just does.
Yeah,
I was dying.
Also, if you ask a question on one of my videos in the comments about how something works, please don't delete your comment after I answer it, because that's also happened a couple of times where like it's been a polite interaction, but after I explain politely why they're incorrect, they delete their comment, and then guess what else happens on that video later? Someone says the same exact thing, and then I have to answer that question again. Whereas if you just left your comment up, they could have read that interaction and been like, "Oh, okay." But I have to answer the question a second time when you do that.
Also, use your resources, guys. There's a dedicated Facebook page just dedicated to answering ruling questions.
Facebook, Discord, Reddit. They're all over the place.
So many ways to get your information about specific rulings. Like, if you guys remember this, do you guys remember the ruling that happened in a Japan tournament with Omni4X and Congo?
I remember hearing about that, and I was like, that is not how that works.
God. Yeah, they had to come out quick and say, hey, guys, that's not how that works.
People are wild.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Kongu's price is about to spike super high if that's how that would work.
No, it was bad. Omni4X.
Oh, was it bad?
Yeah, it was bad for them. It was like if you played Congo and your opponent went into Omni4X, you auto won the game. No matter how many security they had.
No, your opponent won the game.
Your opponent won the game, yes.
Well, yeah, if you were the player who played Congo,
and your opponent,
and then they went into, and then they went into Omni4X, you auto lost.
Yeah, all of your security just gets trashed because you can't recover.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And then the Omni4X attack goes through.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that actually got ruled as okay during a Japanese tournament.
It was probably like an 8-person locals, dude. Like, there's all kinds of stuff like that. Like, people thinking...
It had an official judge. Like, an official judge was like, that was okay.
No offense to Japanese players or their meta, but most of their tournaments are less than 8 people.
Yep.
So, like, that means nothing. That's like an official judge at our locals ruling something incorrectly, which can and will happen.
They're also a best-of-1 format, so...
Yeah. Crazy,
maybe let's not look at Garu X coming out in EX5 and go, ban.
You know,
you're right. They are a best of 1, and this happens in every card game where every card game tries to look like Yu-Gi-Oh's really, really bad at this too, where they try and look at Japanese's formats and assume, okay, that's just what ours is going to be. Mm-hmm. So the prices for certain cards are based off of that, our expectations are based off of that. But guess what, guys? It never really turns out that way. Like, sure, there are some things that happen, but our meta gets changed because of those. It's like a psych thing. It's like players assume that's going to happen, so they want to counter it and go against it, so it ends up changing ours.
Also just very different as deck builders. Yeah. Like, I remember there was a huge, like, Japan versus international debate of, because the Japanese players said English players were too reliant on their memory setting tamers.
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that? That was hilarious.
Yeah, they need 3 memory to do anything.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Like,
it's like, I'm sorry, but in BT7, you can literally go from a level, like a TK, you can go from a TK to a level 6 in 1 turn. That's really good.
Yeah, that person was wild. I don't even understand what their argument was.
So again, guys, if you're gonna take anything from this, one, don't delete your comment. Okay.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't. Just keep it up.
Use your resources.
No one thinks you're dumb. Okay, you're just asking a question, or you thought it was that way, and then if someone corrects you, don't take offense to it. It's okay.
Yeah. Anything we know now about the game, we didn't at one point know. So like,
we had to discover that.
You're no different than someone who does know. They just knew before you.
And then 2, Billy Madison's great movie.
Go watch it.
There you go.
It has very, very funny moments, and then the rest of it's kind of just like, bro, what is Adam Sandler doing?
Yeah, Waterboy's where it's at, though.
Yeah, Waterboy's, top to bottom, just classic.
Yeah.
All right, so
that scene of Billy Madison, though, killed me.
Our final topic, Brandon.
All right, so today's topic is actually very topical. I picked this last week after we got done. And lo and behold, this week they announced that we are getting a new restricted ban list on the 17th. So I wanted to bring up just a general discussion about it, maybe predicting what's going to be on this next list, and just talking about the list in general.
Just wake me up when Brandon's done.
Okay. Well, I am done. Oh.
I'm done.
No. I know.
No, so with Brandon's topic, we're going to talk about the ban list. We know it's not for another couple days after this is uploaded, so this would be us like talking about what cards we think could come off, which they haven't shown us any could come off with. Hopefully, we get some kind of they show us something like that, or maybe we predict what cards could possibly go on to there. So, and then next week we were going to talk about maybe having reactions to that ban list.
Yeah. And then, of course, we want to talk about cards that we think were wrongfully put on there, which is another little sub-option of that topic.
So, I hope they ban HPD once and for all. That card needs to go.
I'm starting this HPD to 4, Tommy to 4, J to 4, ban Garu X. I don't want to deal with it. I don't care if it's not good till January. Get it out right now. That's it.
So, Chris is clearly
bring Greymon X. Bring it off.
I feel like they should actually unlimit Greymon X.
I think it could, honestly, at this point. I mean, at this point, it could come off of it. There's
because like it would
Digivolving for like 1 is like 1 or 2. It's like
it would just make War Gray. It would just make Greymon Toolbox tier 1 again, which it's really not really tier 1 like as far as representation and like tops and stuff. It's like tier 1.5-ish. Yeah, it kind of like, depending on how their day goes, they might be able to top. But like, it's not consistently tier 1. I think it would just bump it to tier 1 status. It wouldn't be tier 0. But
I also think the Greymon X's protection inheritable is way more balanced than Greymon X.
Yeah, it's way more balanced than BT9 Grey X. Yeah, I agree, because it's only once per turn effectively.
Yep.
Whereas if I have...
You can't have multiple body in your source. It's a one-off.
When someone asks me, hey, how many layers of protection it has, and I say 3, they're like, I guess I just lose.
Yeah. Guess I just can't clear it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it being a red deck, of course, it's like 20,000 DP, so there's no attacking over it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it actually would be... I think it'd be better for the meta game if that card came off the list, which I doubt it will, but it would be nice. HPD does need to go to 0. It's literally a better Mega Fusion for green specifically.
The problem with HPD, Chris, you need to realize this. The problem with HPD is it's limiting green.
Yeah.
The fact that this card exists means they have to not make green good.
They have to keep in mind that card exists every time they design a green card.
No, I get that. Trust me, guys, I get it. Okay? The thing is, though, yes, it limits them on green. But every color, and we can all agree this, has their little niche. The niche they have picked for green
changes every set.
One changes every set, and the Digizorption. Why do you think Blossomon should come off? Why is Blossomon on there now?
Because it's searchable for the Bloomlord deck.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's literally the answer, is because it's just a searchable free level 5.
Green almost has what? Does green have the most amount of cards on the ban list now?
100%. Without even looking at it, I'm sure that's right.
Yeah.
It's just like they don't want this deck to be good. They don't want that to be good.
It's because Digizorption is broken. Like they designed it. They made it too good too early. Like,
Yeah.
It's too fast.
Yeah, it's way too fast. Like the fact that you can go
We
into
only have 1 week of full power with Saris and HPD.
You actually had 0 weeks.
That's if your locals allowed you to do it.
Yeah, your TO took pity on you and allowed you to have it full power for 1 week when 1.5
And that was a great week. That was a great week.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, I think HPD needs to go.
I agree. HBD limits what they can do with the color. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you guys on that. It's like, so with everything we've seen in the future for all these sets, is green going to be any good with or without HPD?
So they have to hit it now in order to start designing, because I think they design like 3 sets in advance.
Yeah.
They have to hit it immediately so they can start designing cards knowing that card is on the ban list.
Do you guys think if they hit HPD, can you take off some of those other green cards and bring them back?
I mean,
because think about it, I think Argomon could come back. Yes, you could swarm the board with level 3s, but then you're not able to use
these days.
It's not as big a deal. Like, sure, Bloomlord would be a little bit better, but Bloomlord, you lose consistency because now you're choosing to play that over like the Cherrymon or the Agitarmon or the Lilamon now who plays the Tamer. So I think Argomon could come off. I think Argomon could help some of the other green-based decks, like the Rosemon Burst Mode and stuff like that, because I don't think you'd play it as much in that. And I think even Blossomon could come off if we hit HPD.
Also, real quick housekeeping: green and yellow are tied for most cards on the list.
Okay.
Because Sunrise and X4 shout.
Oh man.
Reinforce and
okay.
Jet.
Cross 4 does not count as a yellow card.
Cross 4 can't come off. Cross 4 can't come off.
I know it's yellow red, Brandon. I'm saying it just doesn't. Like in my head, that does not count as a yellow card. But
also, I'm leaving Jet for you, Sean, when you want to talk about it, because that's another card I think we both agree could definitely come off.
Yeah.
Cross can't come off, and Sunrise can't come off. There's just too many good red and yellow tamers that Sunrise just can't come off.
Yeah.
And then
imagine how many people would be complaining about Shine Greymon if they had 4 Sunrise.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. And then Cross 4 can't ever come off because Cross is, I think, honestly, super under, not valued.
Explored.
I think it's like a good. Yeah, it's just like, I think if Cross opens well and they can start doing their stuff, it's still a very good deck. Mm-hmm. And if they had Cross 4 back at full power, I think it would run rampant.
Yeah, they can just kill you.
Especially since they have a card that you can hard play for like 3 memory that pops the floodgates that stop the deck.
Yes.
So Cross, I think his name is.
Cross can't come off, and we all know why Mega Digimon Fusion can't come off.
Yes. Yeah, Mega Fusion shouldn't have been printed. That was a ridiculous card.
Other than that, we're looking at Eismon, which that's definitely staying.
No, that's not coming off.
Yeah. Chimeramon made sure that card was never coming back.
Yeah. For real. Savemon, also probably never coming off. Jessmon is already still good at OTKing.
Yeah, I think it'd be very dangerous of them to give Jessmon 4 of those again, because they would just turn back into the BT6 version where they just kill you in 1 turn.
Yeah, 1 turn, yep. And it'd be pretty, I mean, especially with the training cards and stuff like that, it'd get more consistency.
Oh yeah, and they have all of the Huckmon.
I was going to say, if Jessmon didn't have... If there wasn't so many different ways to search cards, I could see it coming off, because it's still one of those like, hey, you have to see it. But the fact that you can dig because the Sistermons add to the deck, but they really are just bricks sometimes, because you're never really wanting to hard play them. You want to play them off your effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Jessmons can still brick, but the fact that there's so much searching now in the deck, it just can't come off.
And then of course, the card that Sean believes never should have been printed, and he's definitely right, is Ice Wall. That card is hard staying at 1 no matter what.
Yeah.
There could be an argument that it can go to 0.
I feel for Japan.
The fact they had it at 4 for like 2 or 3 formats, yeah.
So long with this card at 4. Why? I'm gonna go on a little rant here. I hate how long it takes Bandai to react to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why does it take so? When was the last time we had a ban list? Like, it was months ago.
I think the problem is we need to have
2 months
separate
ago.
lists.
We do need separately. Which at one point when they first
26,
the second ban list we got, it was a separate ban list because they were like, "Hey, we're gonna hit these cards, but we're gonna hit them later down the line for you."
Yeah.
But they're in effect immediately for Japan, and it was like the Izmon. They weren't gonna hit that until BT8 came out when we got Chimeramon, which made sense.
Yep.
And same thing with Savior, because Savior at 4 with Chimeramon was also broken because you could play out 2 sisters and then Chimeramon and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, Ice Wall should not have been printed. The fact, dude, Japan had to play through BT7, the entirety of BT7 with Mega Fusion and Ice Wall both at 4.
Yep. Like that, I pray for them, especially in a best of 1 format. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys think that it would be different if its security effect was different? Like, if it either added to hand or just activated?
No.
If that thing didn't have a security effect, if that thing was empty, Gravity Crush, it's still one of the most broken option cards because of your ability to just hoard them in your hand. Being able to play multiple in a turn made that card stupid.
If they had made it cost more memory, potentially they could have left it for like 3 memory minimum. It cost
1,
3 memory,
Yeah, 3 memory would have made it somewhat balanced because they couldn't choke you to 1 and be like, okay, once you swing, your turn's over, dummy.
Yeah, you're done. Sorry.
You don't have any memory setter tamers? No. All right.
Sorry for being punished.
Yeah, that's actually how I lost game 2 against the Blue Fay that I lost against. Was he left him with 0 security, swinging out with like a Zeeg, and then Ice Wall to choke me to 1, and I was like,
yeah,
good game.
Yeah, so next card on the list, I also agree this card should probably stay at 1. It's Reinforced Memory Boost.
Yeah.
The problem is it gives you 3 memory, and you get to recover 1 off of it.
The issue is it's too powerful for security control specifically. Yep. If security control didn't exist, that card could be at 4, and nobody would really care.
So if you guys think that if they bumped it up to 8 memory, what now? You think it could come off at 8 memory?
I think it would have to cost 10, unfortunately, because the deck that it specifically helps doesn't care if they give you like 5 to 7 memory.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
could you imagine?
Because security control doesn't care if they give you that much memory. They're just like, whatever.
Right.
This helps me more than it helps you. You have to build up your whole stack again, whatever. Yep. Like, I think it would have to cost too much.
Especially if your opponent reveals like a really good security bomb and you know it's going to be that first check because you got to see it get recovered into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real pain card to deal with.
The problem is that it's 2 cards. You're digging 2 cards into your deck.
Yeah,
you know,
it lets you look at 2 cards and put one of them on top of your security, which is really, really good.
And being able to go into multiple of them, like back to back as a security control player and just build them on your board meant that you could eventually on one turn just pop multiple of them and go to like 9 to 10 memory to effectively activate multiple of your security cards.
Yeah,
not security cards, multiple of your option cards.
It was the best card in security control when it was at 4, like by far. Like any security control main would tell you it was the best card in the deck.
Yep.
Putting a Zwart defeat on top of your security and just winking at your opponent.
This was another reaction by Bandai because just with like a deck like Megazoo, where they made this card and didn't even think about security control as even an archetype, like not even a card, like not even like a deck type. You know, it was us as players who were creative and said, hey, I kind of like this like kind of style of play, and then it was made, and then their Bandai's like, oh damn.
So I think the issue with that was the fact that they designed cards 3 sets in advance. And security control wasn't really a thing until BT3, and that card came out in BT6. So like by the time it kind of popped up, it was too late because they'd already like designed the card for that set.
Yep, exactly.
But then they were like, "Oh, our bad."
Oops.
Yeah. So next on the list, we don't even need to talk about some Mega Digimon Fusion. Like, come on,
ridiculous.
Why was that card made?
For newer players. for newer players, explain the reason why.
Okay, so the reason Mega Digimon Fusion is banned, hard banned, the only banned card, is because Susanomon exists. Susanomon allowed you to go a level 7 with 3 security checks on top of a tamer for 7 memory. Mega Digimon Fusion allowed you to reduce that Digivolution cost by 6. So you were able to go into a level 7 with 3 security checks, and I think it also had removal.
Yeah, it popped to one of your opponent's Digimon.
Yeah, so Yellow Hybrid and Blue Hybrid were both able to abuse the ever-loving bejesus out of that card, and it literally turned into whoever saw their Mega Digimon Fusion first with enough cards in trash won the game.
Now, a good card like this costs 8 memory to activate, right? How much memory does it?
Yeah, how about 0?
0?
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, man. There's a
drawback though.
Yeah.
What's the drawback?
You lose the body at the end of the turn.
It goes to the bottom of your deck.
So for 1 memory, I could Digivolve into my boss monster, pop a Digimon, swing for 3 checks, and then all that happens is at the end. Oh, 4 checks. All that happens is at the end of my turn, I lose the body.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah, and then you get to use it again when you draw it again.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, so they hard banned that card.
Like,
I don't know what they were like. They were clearly trying to do something that was like related to like the lure, because it was like evoing into Omni for free. It's like a comeback card, but that card was broken.
Broken.
And the fact that it took them that long.
Susanomon.
Yeah, like I don't know how they could look at like the Lilith Loop in BT5 and still be like, yeah, this card's okay.
It's fine.
Like,
you can go into Zwart for free and loop that for 3 turns or three stack straight.
Do we think that it could be fixed if we remove the reduction cost and you had to pay the full memory?
What would it do?
Or is there just there's just no fixing the. You're right. There's no actual.
Why would you ever activate the card?
It's just a badly designed card.
Yeah, it's just very poor design. I don't know who was in charge of that card, but that was
less reduction. If it was like less reduction,
like reduce it by 5 or something like that.
Not 5, because that's still almost the same. Like 2, like 1, 2, or something like that. You know, like
I mean,
because it costs 0. I think you either have to add cost to it or crazy reduce the reduction on the card.
I think their fix for that card was win rate, because win rate is basically a depowered Mega Fusion.
Yes,
and win rate's definitely balanced.
Toss a card from your hand and everything. Yeah,
discard a card. It only effectively reduces cost by 4, or actually by 2. Yeah, because it reduces.
Well, no, it's technically 4 because you're spending 2 to play it.
And it reduces.
Yeah, and then it reduced it by 4.
Yeah, so it's technically 2.
Like that.
It reduces by 2.
Yeah.
Like effectively reduces by 2.
Yeah, because it turned 3 Evos into 2 Evos.
Right.
Next on the list, this is the contentious one for us, because 2 of us believe it should definitely be not on the list anymore.
You cut out.
Oh, it's Tommy.
I don't think anyone thinks that should come off the list.
No, okay. So I love Tommy as a card. Yes. I love Tommy as a card. I think before we saw what all the future stuff we're getting is, that it could have come off. But now that there's cards that can abuse it in future sets, it can't come off.
Okay, but hear me out.
No.
We literally got the ban on this card. The set, it was irrelevant.
Yeah, they waited too long to hit it for us, for sure. Because Blue Hybrid ran our meta for like 2 formats up to that point.
Well, like, I think Tommy actually is a good answer against decks like Apocalypse. It's going to slow them down. Because you're going to be able to rip their sources, prevent them from swinging with it. Like...
A good depowered or less powered Tommy was Sorai, which they printed.
Right.
Sorai. Yeah, like, all these people are complaining about decks that are too fast, that are, like, doing things too fast.
Too furious.
But so, like, they're calling for bans on cards that slow the deck or the game down.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake, 100%. Like banning Jet Sylphie, which was like one of the only control decks other than like pure security control, 100% a mistake. Because it just meant our BT9 format was, hey, who opens combo first and kills the other person?
Yep.
There was like
Melga doesn't get top placing for like 3 months straight if yellow hybrid.
Yeah.
And I was eating that format. And even I could look at that and be like, yeah, hitting Jet was probably a mistake at this point.
It was 100%
I think
mistake.
the only reason I think Jet stayed at 1 was purely because they printed Venusmon. Being able to go into Venusmon from just having a memory setting tamer on the board is a bit ridiculous.
I mean, they could still do that now, though.
Yeah, but they have to have the 1 of Jet. Or
No, they don't.
like a memory boost or something like that.
I mean, you typically will have more than 3 memory as a yellow hybrid player.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a smart player and you don't play into like their, extra memory gain with their TK Karis and their
Okay, but here's the problem. If you take Jet off, right? Now you have to find the room for it again. Because you're not going to be playing 12 level 5s. Because right now we're playing the Rise Greymon and the Rise Grey X. So you have to make your decision. Do you want the security check? Do you want to be able to play your tamer for free and have DP neg? Or do you want to play Jet for 1 and recover and then Digivolve potentially onto a Venus? So it's like we have good enough. Yeah, we have good enough level 5s right now where you have to decide, what do you want to play? So that's why I think it could come off, because it's such a, I don't want to call it an irrelevant effect, but it's just it's been power crept to this at this point.
It also,
we can play it again.
It doesn't just win someone the game. Like, I would much rather have cards that do something like that rather than cards that are just like, hey, I drew this card, so I just win. Like HPD.
Yes.
Like, for instance, the very next card we're going to talk about is the Doru Greymon. Like,
yeah. That's another card.
Doru Greymon.
Hey, I drew this 4 of, I just won.
Literally ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it combined with all the other effects that they gave Alphamon. Yeah, like the indestructible.
Yeah, but it neutered it. It neutered Alphamon.
It did, because they didn't immediately.
The closest we got to tier 0.
Yeah, they didn't immediately print a replacement for it. It took them like how many sets until BT13? If they had just given us that.
Raidmon.
What about right now? Do you guys think it's been power crept enough now to where it could come back?
No, it's worse.
No,
but no one's playing Alphamon.
So because that card's at 1. They can't.
I know, but
they can't bring that card back because there's no anti-power creeping that card, because that card says, hey, I am untouchable for this full turn. Also, I have an extra check.
And also, I hope you're okay with getting touched.
Yeah. Like, hopefully you're playing Chaos Deg and I don't have a Congo in my hand before I start swinging at you, because otherwise you're dead.
This is where my because I love Alphamon, but I don't like Jesmon. So it's like I want Dex to come back, but I don't want Savior to come back. It's just like, this is my favoritism showing here, like.
I would rather Savior come back than Alpha. At
least Savior is less consistent.
Yeah, and Jesmon has to play a delicate. Yeah, they have to play a delicate plan if they don't want to like die to random security bomb. Whereas Alpha is just like, hey, if you give us this card back, we'll just kill you.
Yeah, I hope you're okay with all of our tamers being really good. Like, here's Cool Boy. He grabs every card in the deck. Thanks.
All right, go to the next one. All right, what's next?
We already talked about it. It is Sunrise Buster. Shine.
Yeah,
Shine exists.
I was sad that card got hit, but I agreed that it's very, very powerful and probably
at the time. And then we saw the new Shine cards that were coming. We're like, oh,
yeah, that's
if it did not play a tamer for free, I think it'd be a little more balanced.
If it did one or the,
but it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a very good card. Like, I remember playing the Trident card. The 6-cost red
Gaia?
option. It's not Trident Gaia. It's Trident something.
I Trident Revolver.
Yeah, Trident Revolver. 6-cost red option from BT4, I think.
Yep.
That like deleted like a 6K, and then you could play any tamer for free. It was like a hella power creep version of that.
Yep.
But it's really funny because Trident Revolver was never really played in anything, but Sunrise Buster was like a 4 of in a
everything. Yeah.
Okay, because it's like I don't know why, but is it just me, or does Bandai think that because they make multicolored cards that they can reduce the cost of stuff because you have to meet more requirements?
That was their original thinking, but then they started printing dual color tamers,
yeah,
and dual color rookies. If they had never printed 2-color tamers or 2-color rookies and just kept it like level 4 and higher, it probably still would have been okay to reduce cost on dual color options and stuff. But because they started doing that, it just took that away completely.
It's like you said, Sean, right? It's like you said, Trident Revolver is the same, is kind of a similar card, but costs more.
Mm-hmm.
It's a worse
card that costs more.
And then it's just like, imagine Sunrise might not be as bad of a card if it's like 8 cost.
Yep.
It would probably still be played at 4, and people would hate seeing it. But yes, it would be way more fair at 8 cost.
It would be way more fair because I don't think
start your turn with a memory setter and play it and put your opponent to 2.
Yes.
Instead of 5.
You know, it's just like
instead of 5. Yeah.
Because it's security. Well, I don't know. Even at 8, it would still be bad because it's security effect just active. Right?
It would still be very, very good at 8. But I think
that's another problem. Stop making cards that are really, really good and then make it their security effect. Just say, activate this card's effect.
Yep.
Like,
I think if the card's properly balanced, that's not an issue. The issue is they're printing imbalanced cards.
Look at the Hades Force. Hades Force, I think, is actually pretty well balanced because its security effect doesn't do main effect.
Perfect.
I think they actually did that is a very, very good card that they did their absolute best at balancing, and I think they did a good job.
Because it gives you it's a red and black card, so you have to have those colors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you have X antibody, it reduces its cost, so you meet that requirement. You're meeting multiple requirements, and then it's a very good card. And then they go, okay,
you have to meet another requirement. Yeah, another requirement because you have to have a body on the board.
Yeah, otherwise
exactly.
It does nothing.
And then its security effect is I just delete your highest. Is it cost or DP?
Highest play cost.
Play cost card. So again, it's good.
Yeah, you're not losing your tamers out of security.
Hades Force is a perfectly good comparison to where it's like. It's a very good card, but it's also at the same time very balanced.
Yeah, I know people probably... I'm sure there's some number of people that probably would like to see that card on the ban list, but I doubt it. That card's very, very balanced.
I'll tell you right now, if you guys want to see Cross and you guys want to see Hunters just dominate for years...
Yeah,
go ahead and put Hades Force on it.
Just hit all the Tamer interaction cards and see how it works out for you.
Okay, so what's next, Brandon?
Next up is a card that got hit specifically because of one deck, and that was Calling from the Darkness, purely because of Perperial.
I think that was future proofing. I don't think it got hit because
it's
of Perperial.
It just seemed like it was because of the timing, but you're right, Sean.
So perfectly timed.
It was
so sad. I was so excited to play that deck.
Another card, it's like Ice Wall. It cost 1. Its effect is way too good for what it was. It can't come back. As long as Purple's niche is interacting with its trash, it can't come back.
And reaping benefits when their stuff gets deleted as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, I remember playing 4 of that in Cherubi.
The Cherubi Pinata deck, yeah. Oh, my Eismon had jamming. I can kill it anyway.
Yeah, I'll kill it anyway. Yeah,
so that one's pretty self-explanatory.
I wish you could play the card at 4 if you were playing Perperial, and that's it. Like, you had to be playing
that deck,
and you could play it at 4.
Just give it an archetype-specific option that does what Calling does.
That's genius, dude. That's exactly what they need to do if they ever want to see anyone play that card or play that deck and like think they're gonna win.
Yeah. The next, of course, is the Greymon X antibody, which I think we all agree should actually come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can come off, I think.
I think based on the meta, like I don't like because of all of the good decks that we have and how diverse the meta is, I think it would just put Greymon Tribal to tier 1 instead of having it just be tier 1.5ish and maybe have like a good matchup here and there.
Another thing is if you're gonna say something along the lines of but it lets Greymon get too fast. I'm sorry, being able to build to a level 5 for cheap memory, let me go introduce you to Hunters.
Yeah, Hunters, Hybrids, which we got in BT7, like...
Yeah, there are decks that do it faster.
Yeah, Blue Flare, which just plays a level 5 that stuns stuff and swings. Yeah, it costs 3 memory. Who cares?
Another thing is, to get its reduction, it has to be on the board. It can't be in raising.
Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah, you have to promote to do it.
You have to promote to do it.
And
you have the one
balanced. It has the most balanced of the X antibody protections.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have the memory. It makes it too fast. I still have to pay the memory to digivolve into the level 5, and then I have to pay the memory to digivolve into the level 6, which is potentially passing turn.
Yeah, I would.
Because again, I think the best card it works with, right? Because let's say you only have a memory setter. That's 3 memory. You're digivolving into your level 5 for 1 memory. Okay, none of the War Greymon cards digivolve for 3 or less.
2 or less, you mean?
Or I'm sorry, 2 or less. 2 or less. So again, you're not
win rate.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so
that'd be actually pretty sick.
Yeah,
I tried it. It doesn't work.
You know, so again, I think it can come off because, like Brandon was saying, it's the most balanced X antibody protection because it's a once per turn.
Yeah, and then they potentially might not even have another X antibody in their hands. So even if you get rid of the protection once, they might not be able to protect it again.
They could just not have X antibody.
Yeah, they also have to draw the X antibody option with it too in order to even have a layer of protection. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it makes it too fast. I say it makes it fast enough to compete with the decks that are good right now.
Because guess what, Bandai don't want to do it.
So I can't speak on this next card. I never had any experience with it. So Sean, maybe you'll be able to talk about it. Promo Grand Kuwagamon.
I think that was another future proofing. I do think that deck was super broken when it saw all of its pieces, because
it was piece reliant, right?
It was piece reliant, like pretty much every BT9 OTK deck. They just ranged in consistency, and that was one of the, I would say, less consistent ones, just because it was green and they're inherently inconsistent because they lack searching power for the most part.
Because green didn't have stuff like the BT5 Agumon, Gabumons.
No, not
Alphamon.
Not for that line.
Searchers.
That archetype was basically just memory boost and Davis if you played it.
I think if I remember correctly, watching stuff or even like seeing stuff on it, you had to see the Palmon that Digiburst out, right? You had to see that because I think it gave it its extra security check,
right? No, I thought it was.
It gave it jamming.
Was it jamming? Okay, jamming.
The security check is by Digibursting.
Yeah, you had to see the Grand Quagga and the Grandis.
And the Grand Quagga and the Grandis, yes. You had to see like 3 because the X antibody card too, right?
That is the Grand, right?
The Grand? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to see like your specific cards, and green at the time, really the only searchers it had was, like Sean said, I think people, if they were smart, playing Davis and then green memory boost.
Yeah.
That's all the real searching you did.
So it's like future proofing.
Yeah, if you opened it, you were going off. You're killing your opponent.
It also required your opponent to have something in play as well.
Yeah.
But how do you end the game? Do you just have to? Because I'm assuming you're swinging for all of their checks with the Grandis, and then another body has to swing.
Grandis swings twice.
Omni. Oh, he swings twice. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they have something
playing against the deck, so.
If they have something on the field to interact with, they can swing twice. Sometimes they would just meme out another lethal or have something else on the field already, but like it was going to clear your board as well as check all your security. Even if they couldn't lethal you that turn, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Next up, this is a card that I love, of course. It's the promo Wergaru. I will say I do think it needed to be hit, with as much as that hurts me to say, because it limited Garu as an archetype.
Yep.
Because we had that level 5. Look at every Wergaru that was printed after that. They're all garbage. EX1 bad. BT7 bad. Those are like the only 2 we got. EX1 like it's just not good. Every Wergaru we had after that was just bad because we already had a really good level 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it had to go.
Yeah,
it would have been hit sooner if
Yeah, if that one region actually would have had the card.
Yeah, and also the fact that the reason why it popped off so hard in our meta is because they hit everything else. Because that was when they limited Jet.
It stayed untouched.
They limited Sunrise. They limited Cross 4. And Black Ward did a little bit at first, but then everyone stopped playing Cross and they just switched to Melga, and Black Ward just got killed before they got a chance to set up against Melga.
And then even when you had the Greymon X for like that...
We didn't get Greymon X until BT11.
Yeah. The Melga player started working around it and teching in the 2-cost option that sniped it out so you could bounce their stack back.
BT11 was run by Black War X, though, let's be real. Like, Melga got to run BT9 and BT10 after the hits, but...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think promo wear definitely needed to be hit. As much as I hate to say it, because, again, diehard Melga fan, but the fact they gave security check +1 as an inheritable was just the reason you were able to OTK so easily. It was ridiculous.
It was very strong. So, both of its effects
being able
were way too good.
If you would have had the access to the Ace card with promo wear at full 4, you could OTK for essentially 1 memory, which is kind of crazy.
So
yeah, that needed to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so last 2 cards. One of them we've already talked about. It's Blossomon. So we'll just talk about the very last card, which is, of course, EX2 Impmon.
I forgot about that.
Beelzemon's just way too good.
Yeah.
They hit the wrong card, but...
Yeah, I think they should have probably touched Iron Mako, honestly.
Yeah. I think if they hit Iron Mako, that deck it loses most of its consistency.
They should have allows them to fix their hand. That's the problem.
Yeah, it allowed them to... It was okay if they drew the cards they wanted to mill, because they could just mill them at will.
See, I know you guys don't play Marvel Snap, but I do. And with Marvel Snap, they're able to change cards, like abilities and power and all that. But anyways, I've noticed something really crazy. They do like weekly updates, like 3 times a month. There's a thing called player psyche, right? The reason why Beelzemon's still not going absolutely crazy right now, or I mean, it still gets played now, but not to the crazy amount it did when it was at full power, was because they hit a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So players just now automatically, they just assume now it's worse.
Yeah.
But they hit the wrong card.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still just as strong. If people just kept playing the deck, it would be all over the place. It'd still be dominating.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be dominating, but it's still really good.
An example of this is Ben, a purple player from our locals. He top 8'd an Ultimate Cup with Beelzemon, and Ultimate Cup had another restriction on top of the X2 Impmon, which was Deathslinger to 1. And he still went X1 in an Ultimate Cup playing Beelzemon. That deck is still good. It's just so good. Yeah, just 100%
it's just
right.
Player psyche.
Yeah, the perception is just not that good anymore, which is completely untrue.
It's not. I'm telling you, it would be running rampant if players just went back to playing it again.
Yeah.
But they don't. They don't want to because they think it's worse because a card got hit off of it. It's not, though, because they hit the wrong card. It's BT, yes, the Impmon's good, and it does a lot of things for you, but not what Ayamako does for you. Ayamako does
a searcher.
Ayamako's broken.
It also fixes their hands, gains them a memory,
it keeps them from decking out if they choose not to.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is all of the things. I think eventually they're going to have to actually hit Beelzemon X because of how powerful it is. I think eventually if they continue to print Beelzemon support, they're probably going to have to look at that card to maybe hit because obviously that's the win button of the deck, but Ayamako's
that's the one who trashes security, right?
Yeah. Beelzemon X is the card they go into when you're dead.
Yeah, because then they can just go into blast mode for essentially free and then swing again.
But the Ayamako is the engine that gets them there.
I legitimately think that it's one of those decks where if you really sat down with it and learn the deck, it's like one of the best decks you can just learn the game from, and just because there's so much that goes into it, and at the same time it's got a little bit of everything you want from it.
Yep. Removal, aggro, knowing when to do your sequences. It's a very
no interaction from your opponent.
No interaction.
No interaction.
Hey,
so again, it's just one of those decks where it's player psyche. Yeah, I see it happen all the time in Marvel Snap where they touch one card that was all over the place because it was going too hard, and players just drop it, and then it just player psyche.
If it were still getting representation it had when it was at full power, it would still be like 50% of the tops. I promise.
Yes.
Because of how, like, if it had that level of representation, you would see a bunch of people just high rolling everyone all the way to the finals.
Think about it. It's the reason. Oh, right. Think about it. Right. What deck is getting the most representation right now? Shine Greymon. Right.
I mean, it depends. If you're an Ulti Cup, it's blue.
Oh, if it's Ulti Cup, it's Mirage. But like regular, it's Shine, right?
I don't think that's the case. At least for this first regional.
Yeah,
I don't think there was a single Shine.
Format.
I don't think there was a single Shine Greymon that top 16 the regional.
Okay, so early in the format, it was Shine, right?
Yeah, because it's
okay. What is Beelzemon doing against Shine?
Killing
or what's
them
Shine
anyway.
doing against Beelzemon? Yeah, they just die to it. But because they hit the Impmon, people weren't playing it. So we saw Shine Greymon everyone because it was, again, player psyche thinking that Shine Greymon's the best deck in the format.
Yeah. Although
what's
fair,
it do against Beelz?
Well, Shine Greymon, the only deck that Shine Greymon loses to is itself, and that's its problem. It's the same thing for Beelzemon.
Yeah. It was only doing so well because of representation, because so many people were playing it because they thought, again, player psych, it was the best deck.
Mm-hmm. Once we get the training cards, maybe that'll be the case.
Yeah.
But we won't know.
If I had $1 for every time people complained that insert this deck is so oppressive, we need to hit it.
They get high rolled a couple times and they're just like, please ban. Please ban. Can't win.
Like, guys, we are in such a good, healthy, diverse format right now, and I still see every time they post up like a Ulti Cup listing or a regional listing of who have the top decks, it's always the same comment every time. Like, it'll be 4 blue decks for an Ulti Cup. Oh, look at this blue supremacy. We need to ban Mirage. Something needs to get touched. And then, like, the next week, it's like 4 Shine in an Ulti Cup, and Shine Ulti Cup is also like already been nerfed.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's like 4
Ulti Cup.
Yeah, no, just an example. But then the comments will be like, "Oh my God, Shine's so strong! Ban Shine, Marcus to 1."
Yeah,
it's like, guys, we're in such a diverse format. If we really are,
I would argue it's too diverse of a format.
Yeah, because you can't prepare for anything.
You cannot prepare for everything that you potentially will face in a tournament. And
you could if we had side decks.
Yeah, you could if we had side decks, and I wouldn't care if we had a diverse format if we had side decks, because I could just side by my bad matchups. But I have bad matchups no matter what deck I pick, and I just have to take the L if I run into them.
So you guys want to go into maybe we, because I think we're running kind of long, right? I mean, we're definitely over an hour in. Do you guys want to both or all three of us pick one card we'd like to see put on the ban list?
I mean, it doesn't matter how long this is. Like, I don't...
No, I know, but, just... I'd like to see if you guys can think of one card right off the bat you just put on it. I have one in mind right off. Just hearing you talk about your regionals experience, I have a card I'd love to put on there.
I think I know what you're talking about. I would agree with you. I think that card speeds that deck up too much.
I think with everything it does, Blazing Memory Boost could go on there.
Yes.
From Blue Flare.
I can see that.
Imagine if every deck had a card that did that.
Imagine if Shine had a card that did that.
Yeah, yes. Reveal 6 cards. You get to add 2 and play a Tamer.
Yes,
I think yes.
Yep. And then gain 2 memory back. And it's only 5 memory.
5 memory. We're talking about all these cards that are crazy busted, right? Sunrise can't come back. It does too much. But Blazing Memory Boost.
As a Shine player, I would much rather have a Blue Flare option over Sunrise.
A Blazing.
Yeah. Yep. If they gave Shine a Blazing, it would be tier 0.
Yes.
Yeah, that card is
Like
card's too overpowered for sure.
We're talking about all these cards and all the things they do, and you're telling me this card's over here just like the Kevin James meme. It's just it's crazy. It does too much for how little it costs. I could be going first, and I could hatch, evolve. I don't care. I'm giving you 5 memory. I'm playing it.
Yeah.
Because guess what's usually normally going to happen? I'm getting a tamer and cards off of it.
Probably a memory setter too, so you're going to have 5 memory in the next turn.
Yep.
Go ahead. You have 5 memory on your first turn. You can't attack me with it. Sure. Go ahead. Build in your Raising Air. I don't care. Because guess what I'm doing next turn? Metal Greymon. Boom. Boom. Swing. Swing. All off 1 card.
Yep.
Yeah, that card is
it's
very,
crazy.
very good. I think it would... Like, I don't see anybody clamoring for Blue Flare to get touched, but having played the...
It's a sleeper deck.
It is. It's so good. It's for some reason running into bad matchups, which is probably like the Black War decks, where if they control their tamers, they have a decent shot. But it has a lot of representation because it is very good. It just has one horrendous matchup, which is Black War.
Yeah, and
even then it can outspeed them.
Yeah, it's crazy because it seems like Bandai doesn't want certain decks lasting as long as they do, and yet that deck is what I mean. If I guess if we consider Greymon Tribal, but it's always getting new cards. But like Blue Flare has been one of the oldest
since BT10
archetypes, that we've had.
Yeah, and they just released more support for it in EX4.
Yeah, it's crazy, So it's like it's weird. They pick and choose what decks they want, obviously, because they're the creators, but what they want to give support to, and it's just crazy that they're still giving it this one. Is it because it just has Greymon in its name? Is that why?
I think it's because it's never been like really good
consistently.
Yeah. Like I think they'll release waves of support until a deck becomes too good, and then they're like, whoa.
I know a version of the deck won some kind of event a month or 2 ago, right?
Probably. It was
it's still there, but it's always fringe.
Yeah, Ultimate Cup format was basically either Blue Flare or Mirage was probably going to win.
Yeah.
I think other than that for this ban list, I'm really curious to see if we get one of those situations where they hit a card for Japan and then they tell us in our format that it'll get hit later. So I think it's possible they're going to target purple. I think the purple engine right now is probably where they're going to be looking. So you could probably hit Eismon, the other Eismon scatter mode. You probably could, because again, it is a generic level 4 that does Graceful Charity, which is very good. But you could also probably hit stuff like Anubis, because that Anubis engine is also very strong. The Nidhogg, just because it gives you free advantage. But honestly, like, you're playing a level 6 just to discard it to gain 1 memory. It's not that broken.
I mean, if you think of it like an option card.
Yeah, you're thinking of it as like an option, yeah. So I don't think that thing needs to be touched. Honestly, the elephant in the room... I'm just preparing myself mentally for them to hit Garu X to 1. Everybody's crying about it. Everybody's complaining about it. It's gonna happen. So I'm just preparing myself mentally.
I really hope they don't do what they did to us at the beginning of BT10 format and hit stuff because of how Japan's meta was, because it completely alters our meta, and stuff happens that they can't account for, like Melga running the format.
Yep.
Whereas it was non-existent over there because it lost to like the decks that got hit over here.
Yeah.
Because if they do that again, we're going to have a format like where there's going to be like basically a tier 0 deck that was unaccounted for, and it's just going to ruin
because it was held back by the deck that they're hitting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I just feel like they're going to hit the Garu X just because its engine is used in 3 decks. Apocalypse being the best one, of course.
Yeah. I hope this is the first ban list where they actually unrestrict cards.
Yeah, that's honestly why I think we brought it up in the beginning. We talked about it like this could be a format where you can bring stuff back. Because imagine Apocalypse trying to do stuff to you when you're playing stuff like a Jet. Like, the best they're going to go for is maybe decking you out. But at that point, like...
At that point, though, you'd probably be able to kill them, though, because you would be playing Susan again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Susanoo's going to come in.
Yeah, I think Jet can come... I think Jet should come back to 4.
I'd be okay with Tommy coming back, too. Like, Blue Hybrid isn't doing much.
It's not for Blue Hybrid. Your card that abuse that.
You are cutting out so badly.
Yeah, I'll say you're cutting out really bad.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Probably because you're using your phone.
It's probably someone else is watching Netflix at your house.
Blame Josh.
Yeah, it's Josh. Josh likes to play everything online.
Tell him to go to bed.
I mean, I'm on the Wi-Fi. Mine seems okay.
Yeah, but there's multiple of us on the Wi-Fi. Anyways, what was I saying?
You said it's not for Blue Hybrid.
About Tommy.
Yeah, it's not for Blue. It's not for Blue Hybrid though. Aren't there future cards coming out that have been announced already that abuse it?
I mean,
like
not
stunning
really.
cards.
Like, we're getting cards that do stun, like the Zudomon Ace.
I could have sworn I saw there was a loop somewhere with Tommy.
All right, here's the deal. I think Tommy can come back to 4 if we get Greymon X back to 4. Because then that ensures there is a check for Blue Hybrid and Timber Reliant decks that's actually tier 1, which is Black War.
Yeah, 100%. Easy.
That's the only way I would want to see Tommy come off the list, though. Like, I think it'd be risky business to bring it to 4 without, like, knowing that there's going to be a hard check for it.
Right.
And I do want to see
Ace Zudomon.
What is Ace Zudomon?
Sorry, go ahead. So, of course, Blast Evo, hand counter, all that crap. On play, when Digivolving, trash 2 Digivolution cards from underneath one of your opponent's Digimon. They're just any sources, by the way, you get to pick. Then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no sources back to their hand. That's it.
So, I think what the whole play is, right?
You play that as your level 5 for Blue Hybrid.
Yeah, you imagine this. Tommy. Kudamon. That's 4 sources. That's just 4. Okay? You promote, or it comes up. You go Kori Kakumon, you stun them, right? Alright, bring up attack, up, Blast Evo. I'm bouncing, because it just has to have no sources, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have to blast Evo. You could just Evo to pass turn and just bounce whatever.
Yeah, you could just Evo to do it.
And there's no protection effects from that happening currently.
But you're gonna look at me and complain about Apocalypse that, like, come on. Just stun the Apocalypse. Rip all its sources and then stun it. Don't bounce it, because if you bounce it, you're stupid.
It doesn't matter if it's stunned. It has the end of turn effect that lets it tuck sources and then proc things. You can stun it all you want. It's not really going to do a whole lot besides keeping you from being milled more cards whenever you rip sources.
So anyways.
Yeah, HPD needs to go to 0.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's copium, really. But in my heart of hearts, I know it does, because like you guys said, it does limit what they can and can't do with it. But I just want green to be good, and if that means hitting it to 0, then that's what's got to happen.
No, you got the Terriermon, Lopmon Alliance deck coming out, man. That's where you're going for.
That's actually going to be kind of scary, because that deck's already, I think, being slept on. Like, having played against it whenever Ben started playing it, it is very, very good and super underrated, and they're giving it an advanced deck like they gave Bilzamon, which they literally gave Bilzamon all the tools it needed to be basically tier 0.
Like, having the ability to revive a Quartzmon for free is kind of crazy.
Yeah, Cherubi on a Quartz, like, it was so hard to come back from that every time Ben did that to me.
Yeah, you literally have to out it without killing it. It's crazy.
You just have to out it twice.
Well, couldn't you just bounce it back to their hand?
Yeah, if you were playing blue, but I don't play blue, Brandon.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
God.
Just raid War Greymon into it twice.
No, I wouldn't unsuspend.
Nah, dude, just cheat.
Just cheat, man.
He doesn't read his card.
Ben won't notice. He doesn't know what.
So
he won't notice.
Sean, I don't remember, but is there any card you'd like to see that's not on the ban list currently potentially go on there? Because Brian, what did you say yours was?
Something in the blue engine. Or not blue, purple. Something in the purple engine.
Okay. So then what about you, Sean?
Probably Garu X.
I think probably just HPD.
That's not on there. That's not on there. Is there a card you think that's not on there that could go on there?
I have to think about this one.
Do we think Quartz is too big of a problem?
Nah.
Not. Oh,
I mean,
I know. Shoutmon King version.
That's a very good card for hunters, yeah.
That if that
Hunters
card goes to 1, that deck is much
Why?
Much more fair.
Yeah, much more.
Here's the thing: when that card first came out, though, people were sleeping on it. They were only playing 1, and now it's suddenly like they're like, "Oh my god!"
You're thinking of a different card.
You're thinking of the BT10 Shoutmon King version.
Oh, I am. I'm thinking of the old one.
I'm talking about the good one,
the new
which
one.
is the one that's been
the
4 event hunters from day 1.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that card is way too good.
Yeah.
It's a level 4 that you can play for 3 memory, and it plays out a tamer, and there's no it plays out any one of your 3 tamers.
Period.
Yeah, and there's no if you can already control one, you can't do it. It's just like, hey dude, play one. Who cares? Evo into me, play one. Play me for a reduced cost, play one. Who cares?
Every other archetype has a restriction on their tamer playing ability, except for Shine.
From the level 4.
Geogreymon.
From the level 4 slot.
Well, I was gonna say Geogreymon, but the Geogreymon has to have it in security, so that is the restriction.
Yeah.
So you guys think Quartzmon is fine? Because I don't. It's such a. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's such a good level 7 floodgate.
I think Quartzmon is
okay, but it's so hard to answer though.
It is, especially in blue decks that aren't playing options.
Yep.
Because there's some blue decks that just straight up don't have an out in their deck for Quartzmon once it hits the board.
I think a lot of colors don't. Think about it. What's a black deck that does it right now? That's not Greymon. Yeah, but who's playing that?
That's a trick question. There's not a black deck that exists. It's not Greymon.
Yeah, exactly. Black can't do it unless they're playing something like Ultimate Flare. And who's doing that?
I'm sorry, Gaiomon?
Gaiomon. Okay, again, that's a red card.
He's a Greymon.
It's black, but it's red.
Yeah, Gaiomon's a Greymon.
Again, red can answer it because it can get big enough over it.
What am I playing? Am I playing a booty deck that if I'm playing All Force, right? That's what I'm playing.
Yeah, you can't. You have no outs.
You're playing Garu, Brandon. You're playing Garu, regular Garu. What are you gonna out it with?
He could bounce it with Garu X with Milk.
No, because I'd have to unspend.
You're dead.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Ace Garu.
You'd have either Ace Garu or Omni X are the answers.
Yeah. So no, what are you not getting?
You're dead at this point.
If they're building a Quartzmon and I did nothing the entire time, I deserve to die.
What build, dude? Promote an Evo into it and say, answer this.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying, but I think at that point,
if it's the only body on the board, Garu outs it.
Trust me, I agree. I don't think Quartzman could go on this, but this is for all the people I see complaining about Quartzman specifically. So I'm trying to argue from their side, right? I agree with you. It does have answers, but I think if you play it, and you could say this about any card, if you play it at a certain time, it can just win you the game. Mm-hmm. Your opponent's already been hit for 1 or 2 checks. Death X doesn't.
Same thing about Death X.
Death X is a little different though because you can actually play around Death X.
Yes, you can play yourself into getting Death X.
Death X was more splashable though.
Yeah, but you could still play if you knew they were playing Death X. You can play around it if you know how to do that.
You can play around the Quartzmon.
There's no playing around Quartzmon, bro.
There is no. It's hold
it out. Never use it.
It costs the same memory regardless. They gain more back if you play more stuff, but there's no play. You can play around where they literally can't act. They can't play Death X on the field.
It would be different. It would be different if it had natural security checks, because then at least it's checking it. It's the fact that it trashes it, so you get nothing out of that. Because not only that, there was a time when I was playing Rabbit. It was the only time I actually felt powerful when playing it, where I would play cards, then go into Quartzmon just so I could trash extra security cards. Because then guess what I'm doing? I'm digivolving into it, keeping turn, attacking with it, and then trashing their security.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you do it. I'm not going to play the Quartzmon until I can guarantee I'm killing you. Because guess what? I'm going to wait until you promote. Okay? I'm going to go into Quartzmon, suspend your stuff, get rid of it, and then I'm going to kill you. Like, because now you have to build in raising. And again, you better hope you have a memory tamer, because I'm choking you. Okay? So I'm at to a point in the game where I can kill you.
As an English Digimon player, I rely on my memory setters.
Yeah, you rely on your memory setters. So, and again, all your stuff's suspended. So if you have any cards that need to not be suspended, like your or like certain tamers and stuff, you're not getting those effects. So I'm gonna play Quartzmon at a point where you're losing the next turn.
Just out it.
Yeah, you're right. You're just out. That's just it. Just does that. It just does that.
I wouldn't be mad nor surprised if they limited Quartzmon. But I also don't really think it should go on the list. Potentially, maybe eventually, because it is a very, very powerful card.
Yes.
But I think it's something Green actually needs. Otherwise, their decks are going to continue to be bad. Because
I just don't think it's restrict worthy yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
Later.
Probably eventually, but not yet.
Would it be better if it couldn't digivolve on top of Black Digimon 2? Like the fact that it can also digivolve.
It can even on top of White as well. Like it's a good top end for Dia.
Yeah, White too.
Yeah.
Like if they just took the black part out.
Yeah, imagine Diaboromon, they got like 8 tokens out and they're just like, alright, Quartz.
Yeah, deal with this. Quartz time.
Yeah, Crimson Blaze. Oh no.
So anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else ban list wise?
I'm sure there's a card I'm not thinking of that probably needs to be looked at. Yeah, I think
we'll hear about it in the comments.
Yeah,
I think Chaos Segregation.
It's already at 1 for Ulti Cups. They are testing it at 1.
I just think that there's no protection against it. No deck really has protection against it, right? There's what, one?
There's one deck.
There's one?
Well, actually there's two cards, not even decks, 2 cards that have protection versus that effect.
Yuya.
I wasn't even considering Yuya, but I guess 3. There's Yuya, which keeps it from even doing anything. BT13 Alphamon, and Alter S from EX4.
Which even then, Alter S dips out, so it's not like he's protected from it.
I mean,
you're just not. You're not hard losing it.
They're paying 8 memory to have you recover 1 and put 2 level 6s on the field.
Yeah,
so in my opinion,
play to begin with.
Yeah, because they don't get to trash the security if they don't get to put something in the security by the card effect.
Yeah,
I just think it's such like imagine if every deck had that kind of removal.
Well, they don't, and that's why I think it's okay. I think if they were just like, hey, this card exists now in all colors, I would be like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because it's in a deck. If it's not being played in security control, the only deck that can really support it is Mastamon. And Mastamon is so slow and clunky that it kind of needs cards like that in order to survive long enough to even combo off.
So you think because of the 2 decks it's like really utilized in, it's okay right now?
I think honestly, security control is the only deck that consistently uses it like that.
I think eventually it could probably be looked at if we get like a really good yellow/purple deck that can support it. But right now I don't think it's an issue just because of the decks that it goes in just being kind of clunky and unreliable.
So you're telling me in BT14 with your deck, you're not teching in like random purple tamers just to play it?
So I personally don't test future decks because we're not going to get them for like 6 months.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah. But Ben said he tried it out and he said the new stuff doesn't really help Mastamon as much as it needs to. Because Mastamon's like a 4 or 5 card combo deck. Like it's so clunky.
Yeah, it's very piece reliant.
So much. Like it's really cool when it pops off, but the pop off doesn't even win them the game. Like it just controls the board for a turn And even then, they don't kill you the next turn. Like, if you can recover from them popping your board once, you can probably still win the game.
Yeah. Just don't let them ordain on you.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like a one of, and even then...
Yeah.
Even then, if they do that, they still don't win the game. That doesn't win them the game.
It's not an auto win.
Ordine doesn't check more than one security. She can clear your whole field and recover, but you could still... There's still counterplay to that. Like, they're not just winning the game on any of their huge combos. It doesn't just win them the game on the spot.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else for you that you guys want to talk about, I guess we can call it there, right? All right, boys.
Right.
Another good episode.
Good talk. Good talk.